Okay.
All right. So, first of all, why don't you give us a brief introduction about yourself? So, can be anything in relation to work, but also and especially beyond work. So, what kind of interests or hobbies do you have? What makes you as a person? Anything to get to know you a bit better beyond the basic CV data.
So I'm Mehdi Hassan. I'm completed my graduation from Shah Jalal University of Science and Technology from the Department of Geography and Environment. Currently, I'm working as an assistant director in Runout Films. Basically, we are making television commercials. So, though I have no big relation to the subject, which I prefer to the job that I used to do now, that I am currently working as an assistant director, that has no relevant relationship to my course subject, which is basically geography and environment. But in my mid semester, I get a course on cultural geography, and then I came to know that there is more interesting things like documenting and filming people's life, their stories, their life, what they want to share with us, what they are actually like, what they cannot afford, or what they want to be get from the society. And I found it is more interesting, and I like to switch my field. Then I joined as an assistant director at Runout Films, and currently I am working there for past 2 years. Before then, I was work as a director, cinematographer, and copywriter at Team Hatima Team, which was basically with some of people, those who have similar interests like me. We started our own project to uh, gather knowledge about filmmaking, as we have no basic knowledge about filmmaking, because our institutional studies don't provide us that uh, tools or something that we have to manage for ourselves to learn filmmaking better, or to use this in beneficiary purpose.
Right. So how did you learn basically I mean, you needed to acquire, I think, all basic skills of video production and so on. So how did you do that since you haven't studied filmmaking, correct?
Yes, I didn't have studied filmmaking earlier, but maybe in 2018, Biodiversity Conservation Act has made a film festival by USAID in Bangladesh, and we have selected from our university those. Though we have no knowledge about filmmaking then, but we tried at least when this. Though that was not up to the mark, but I can realize what is my actual uh, passion. I can came to know what I want to do. So I started to study from the various online platforms like Studio Binders, and other platforms which are giving me some support by some tutorial. I came to know about some famous director. I watch their work and try to learn something from their work. And yes, basically, as the age of communication and development technology, I mean, we can easily manage what we want to know from using by using internet. And basically, through the internet, we try to learn whatever we need to learn, and we just want to share our thoughts with each other, and uh, try to explore better form of ours.
Hmm. And do you think the way you learned this was this as effective as if you would have done a formal course, or would it have been different, or how do you compare both?
For formal courses, these are basically formal courses are used as a tools of getting better jobs nowadays. Basically, we when we came to know that came to know how to when I found that my passion is in filmmaking, so there was no scope for me to study formal courses in the mid of my graduation, and there is less or no scope outside the Dhaka city to study filmmaking from various institutes. So I have to learn from on purpose. And basically, I think when I can find that my interest is in filmmaking, I try to learn from the various options which is available to me. The formal educations are much more likely to say the introduction or grammatical rules for filmmaking, which maybe sometimes maybe make me frustrated that I cannot understand those. But when I try to learn by watching and experimenting over myself, I came to know that this is interesting. Yes, there was problem I faced. I came across a lot of difficulties, but there was an interesting thing in the total learning process, and I enjoyed really that. And as there was no one to assess me, I was doing the assessment of mine, what I need to do, what is my goal, how much I need to learn, what kind of things I need to learn, what is I like to do. So it was for me an open education system that whatever I choose, I can do this. And there was no limited time, there was no exam. So I was basically, I was free to learn.
Right. Thanks for sharing this. That's really interesting to see. My next question then is, so you studied geography, then you went into filmmaking. Now you are applying for the Nuuk Fellowship. So just tell us a little bit about what motivated you to apply for this role, given that, again, this is something quite different, right? What you would do as a Nuuk fellow. So what is your motivation behind it for applying for this role?
At the end of my graduation, I went to a local community called Chor Nation, situated at Borisha, and the southern part of Bangladesh, or Borguna district. So here I saw some people who were really suffer from various kind of difficulties. They cannot manage their livelihoods by the normal ways. They are trying to manage their earnings and other things. They cannot. They are not. They are just underprivileged. They don't get the support that the urban communities get. So about talking with them, I found it's really need to share their story. Basically, in TVC, what I am currently doing, their TVCs are more likely to product oriented. There is no story of people, no story of human. What I want to really want to show the world, that I want to show the world that how I see people, how they want to share their stories, their thoughts, their morals, their values, how they manage their livelihoods, how they sacrifice, how they can overcome this situation. So when basically I found that it will be easier for me to observe people's stories as a new fellow. I found it is interesting. I can observe people, their stories, their thoughts. I can learn with themselves, and even I can explore a better form of mind.
Nice. Thanks for sharing that. So I think, can you tell us a little bit more in your own words? How do you understand what a Nuuk fellow does? Like, based on the limited understanding, obviously, you have from the job description, and maybe you have looked at our website and a few more things. How would you understand your role as a Nuuk fellow? Like, what would be your main tasks and responsibilities, you think?
From what websites link given to me about Project DeFi and other things, I came to know that there is lots of responsibilities, but most of them are supporting the communities. But when they need it the most, not I don't have to be the teacher to learn give lesson to them. They will learn themselves. I is just assist them to compare what they want to pursue. Like when they are falling in a problem, when they cannot access something, I can help them by with whatever I can. And basically I need to make them understand that it's really beneficiary for them, and it will be obviously helpful for them to being getting better lifestyle, better understanding, better beneficiary employment condition. And
Right. Yeah,
sorry.
thanks. I think you have a good basic understanding. My next question is something completely different, but also something very interesting. Who would you say is your current role model and why?
uh, my current role model is Wong Kar-wai, filmmaker.
Yeah.
uh, he is a renowned filmmaker, but he, at his earlier age, he struggled a lot. But after sometimes he get motivated by himself and try to put a positive impact in the society and try to say his story in his language, and not like other commercial filmmakings or other stuffs. He tried to state the story which we want to know. Not those fancy stories. Those are related to lives. Those are really related to lives. Those are close to our. We can relate with his films with our lives.
Right. Thanks for sharing. My next question is before we go into the next section, which is about community and your understanding of community and any experience you have working with local communities. First of all, I just wanted to ask you, so you are based in Dhaka, right?
Yes, it's in
Okay,
Dhaka.
and you are originally from Dhaka or from somewhere else?
I am from Mymensingh, a
Okay.
small town, center part of Bangladesh,
Yeah.
and
Have
I used to
you
study at Sylhet.
right, right. So you don't have any direct connections with Barisha, like either work or family or anything?
No, I don't have.
I'm just asking because Tunuk is in Barisha, as you know, but that's okay. Um, okay, so coming to the next set of questions. If you think of the local area where you live right now in Dhaka, right? Um, Tell us one thing you really like about this local community, so your local surrounding area. What is one thing you like most about that place where you live right now?
Sorry, can you kindly repeat the
Sure.
question?
So I was saying, if you think about right now the local community you are living in Dhaka, right?
Yes.
So what is one thing that you like about this?
Sorry, there is an interruption in the connection. What is the thing I like about local people of Dhaka?
Yes,
Uh,
your surrounding area where you live right now.
I like that they're uh, very fast paced. They are very fast paced in fast paced environment, and they are trying to cope up with it. Unless like other marginal communities that are in the peripheral region of Bangladesh, the local community of Dhaka, they are very much fast paced than others, and they are likely to adapt anything new easily.
Hmm. Okay, and if we think about one thing that people in your local community are facing, like any problems, any issues, any challenges that people in the local area are facing, what would be the biggest issue?
Uh, The biggest issue right now in this pandemic, their biggest issue, some of them lost their job, and then they cannot go outside as they were they can in the past, and they cannot manage the earnings what they used to earn at previous time. So they are currently in a bad position throughout the pandemic. And obviously the in local communities, as schools are closed for schools and college and other institution are closed for a long time, long period of time, so they are getting something of frustration. They're getting frustrated. They are not being motivated as they were before. There is a break in their life, so they are trying to overcome this situation. Though it is quite tough right now, but they are trying.
And if we look at that issue, what could be one way to address this issue, to help people better? Obviously, not solving it immediately, but what could be some of the ways how we could support those people? Like, what would you do if you say you are the mayor of Dhaka or someone? What would you do to help people?
I would try to heal them. I cannot help all of them to earning their livelihood as they were earned before, but I can motivate themselves to being motivated by themselves for pursuing their own passion to create something interesting, to acquire some skill that will um, give them some positive feedback in future, being prepared for the future and being ready to face all the challenges.
Right. Thanks for sharing that. My next question is around your experience of working with a community. So do you have any experience, be it say volunteering, organizing, or any other way, how you directly engaged with local, especially also marginalized communities on the ground?
I have no long-term period relationship with marginal communities, but I get some opportunities to work with them. In Mymensingh, my hometown, there is a humanitarian social service center. They work on with the education of underprivileged children. I was one of the volunteer of them, and I was trying to join in there some ceremony to like a book fair or others. Ceremony for the children. And later on in my university, a research project was based on natural hazards and vulnerability assessment on Borishal district, Borguna region. So I went there, and from there I learned a lot. There was an incident I want to share that in 2007 there was cedar in Bangladesh. What really distract many things in that region, and people's life was totally changed. They were still now traumatized with this incident, and but they are trying to overcome this situation. If uh, sufficient help they can get, they can I think they can manage those problems.
Right. Before Ehsan continues, I have one last question related to community. So let's say if we hire you as a Nook Fellow and you're going to Barishal City and you have to, attract people from the local community. And again, it can be people of any age, any gender, any social background, and you want to attract them to come to the Nook. And you have to keep in mind, okay, first of all, this is a area which is not your home area, so you're completely new to that community. Also, people most likely don't know anything about the Nook and about what is self-designed learning, because obviously it's a very new concept. So what would you do when we start the Nook and you're the Nook Fellow and you have to attract new learners? What would you try to do in order to make people come to the Nook?
basically I need to make a friendly relationship with the local communities and help them to understand that self-driven learning will be beneficial for them, and they can get what they want, what they want to pursue in what is their passion, their interest. This is not basically like the mainstream education system where they has on pressure some goals to achieve. They in their in her self-education, self-design education, they can set their own goals, they can set their own priority, they can set their own work limit. They don't bother to go to somewhere when they need to they bound to go. They can easily manage the time whenever they can. And
But how would you concretely do it? Like, would you have one-on-one conversations with people? Would you do anything else? How would you do that? Because first of all, you have to find the people, right? And
I have to contact with community. We can one. I can do one by one-to-one conversation or focus group discussion. Like I can discuss with a group about the facilities, and I try to attract them about the facilities so that they will get from the NOOC, and how that can be changed their life, and how that can help them to acquire their interest, pursue their passion.
Right. But so what about, let's say, obviously one-on-one conversations and all our conversations in small groups are really important and helpful. But then again, you want to reach out to a large amount of people, right? To a huge number of people in the local community. So can you think also of any other ways other than personal conversations to do something in order to attract people to the NOOC?
They said that group discussion can be measures, and that we can do group conversation with as many people as we can manage, and other things we can arrange some thing that people try to join there and enjoy the environment. Like we can arrange any sort of entertainment purpose program or other things, or recreational program, that they will interested to come here, and then try over the time they will know about NOOC, and they can found that there is they are in the right place.
Right. Okay, thanks a lot. I think that's it from my side for now. Ehsan, can you please continue with some more questions?
Absolutely. Thank you, Mehdi, for being here with us. I've been hearing what you are doing so far. I'm very glad to hear that you are in a production house and you are doing filmmaking, which is also one of my passion, I think, field of passion where I also work. So, very simply, I heard you saying something about like you like to observe how people are and how they get along with their lives and everything. Does it mean that you are actually working in the field of documentary making? Like, is that the reason why you got like this kind of interest of observing people?
Sorry.
Like, are you into documentary making? Is that one of the reason why you like observing people, or as I know, Runout is only doing TVCs?
No, from my early from where I start to follow my passion, I work for a conservation of biodiversity, which is related to environment. So, and people, how people came across various problem and overcome this. I always try to learn new things from people, and when you observe people, you can easily learn many things, and you can see many stories of which we cannot see in the TV series. And not only I am interested in documentary or filmmaking, I also want to learn things from people, and
Okay.
you can learn things from people when you are connected with them.
No worries. I think okay, we got that. So, can you tell us a little bit about what do you understand? Like, since you applied for this position, what do you think would be your major responsibility as a Nook fellow? What kind of work would you have to do?
Mm, I have to maintain and manage the Nook office and grow interest in the local community to come to Nook and pursue their interest and their hobbies, what they want to what they want to do, what they want to pursue, what they really like to achieve, and make them. It's the I think the major issue would be. About make them aware that these learnings would be beneficiary for them, not only like some institutional education they will learn and forget it, or memorizing some knowledge, general knowledge, and after leaving the Nook. That's not. They should able to manage their own community. They should change their own community by working themselves, and they should
Right.
be aware about their own situation.
Okay. All right. So the other question that I have right now is, since you kind of got what you have to do, so and you said that you are in at your where are you staying right now?
I am staying right now at Dhaka.
Dhaka. So, and you are from Dhaka as well?
No, I am from my hometown is Mymensingh.
So, did you grow up in Mymensingh or did you grow up in Dhaka?
I grew up in Mymensingh. Later, I came to Dhaka. Then, from Dhaka, I went to Sylhet to pursue my graduation, and then I came back to Dhaka for job purpose.
Okay. So, you don't have any prior experience of community engagement, right?
Uh, I have small experience of community engagement. Like in Mymensingh, I was engaged with Humanitarian Social Service Center. They are work with underprivileged children who are deprived of education. And later, I do my project of my university in environmentally protected areas with local people of there, and later a research project on Borgona district natural hazard and vulnerability assessment of this place. So I work a little bit with the local community, but I have not a large experience of working with local community.
Okay. So, what do you think will be your biggest challenge in terms that if you have to move to Borishal and then you have to engage the local community and you also have limited experience in that term? So, what will be your biggest challenge, you think, in terms of engaging local community in Borishal?
I think it's not the biggest challenge how we cope up with the new places, but it will be challenging that I can make understand them that this is beneficiary for them, because in our country we are now we are going with the mainstream education. Even some of them, they don't know about the process. Even I have also limited knowledge about the designing learning for myself. So I have to learn that, and I have to mm, send the message to the local community and make them understand that will be really beneficial for themselves. If they cannot understand that that is beneficiary for themselves, then our target will not be fulfilled. I think this is
So,
our
how will you make them understand?
uh,
Because that will be one of your main tasks, right?
yes, that will be one of my main tasks. I need to make a friendly relationship with the local community. Need to know about what they are deprived of, what they are suffering. So I need to understand and share our my thoughts with them, and be need to be free with them, and need to make them realize that I am really try to helping them, and. Uh, to make them understand that these things will
Okay.
be
Yeah, this will be beneficial for them. No worries. You since you're already like working in films and all, so do you have any experience of using softwares other than MS Word or
yes.
Microsoft Suite?
I
What
have
what
experience
software?
using Adobe Premiere Pro, Adobe Photoshop, other software related to post production and other things, audio visual materials.
You are good at all of them, like basically video editing, color correction.
Based at all of them, but when I try to learn these things, I came to any project, I try to learn some new things. So though this is not my main task in the current position, I
Right.
learn this from my interest, and
Okay.
I managed to do some things on my very own, that without no one's help, completely a full task with my skills.
Right. Right. Can you also tell me if you have any experience with physical tools? Like, do you have like any experience with, I don't know, some kind of handicraft, I don't know, some kind of like sculpture, carpentry, or any kind of things that you like to do or you know how to do as a hobby or as a skill?
Uh, as a skill, I basically hobby is related to sports and music, movies, and other stuffs, which are really basic elements of entertainment. Other than this, we when we in recent time, I start to work making some tools that will be help in cinematography or other stuff, like in, slider or other
Right.
things, or
Right.
Steadicam. I'm
So,
really basically I'm
so
working on.
you build your own Steadicam.
No, I don't build my own Steadicam, but I build my own slider
You build your own slider with what?
with aluminum uh, 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 steel, which are found in various shops outside, and some four wheels, and a basic platform of steel, which
How
uh,
smooth is it? Is it working good?
yes, it is working good, and I made a documentary with this.
Very good, very good. So it was pretty good budget for that trolley, huh? Otherwise,
Uh,
you would have to take so many people.
no, good. It was really cheap. I just I need to spend only 2,000 to 3,000 taka for this totally make a, which is more
So
smooth.
is it mountable for 5D or is it mountable for other bigger cameras, only DSLR?
Uh, Basically, it's, till now it is mount is this able to mount small DSLR cameras. The larger cameras like Alexa or Sony, other filmmaking or
Yeah.
professional cameras cannot be mounted on this.
Okay, great. I would love to see your slider. I think I'm very interested in that. Can you tell us, like, do you have any, since you are working as assistant director, probably you have some experience of, having some documentation skills like reporting or attendance sheet, any kind of skills. Do you have any skills regarding that, or have you done something like this?
I
Maintaining reports or maintaining attendance list, anything like that?
No, I don't maintain an attendance list, but I have experience in managing treatment note or pre-production meeting, presentation, or other stuff related to presentation and other things.
Okay. How is your writing skills? Are you good at writing case studies or stories or anything like that? Since you have studied in a different subject, so do you have any experience regarding this?
I have experience regarding writing. So, like I have some articles published on numerous web portals, like Neon Alloy. Basically, those are on
Okay.
sports and movie-related topic. But uh, other than this, I have done formal writings for my university project and other things.
Okay. do you, so okay, this is something I think you have experience in, but not, I don't know how much you do. Do you have any experience in, like, handling budgets, managing budgets, or,
Uh,
like, finance or anything like that?
Experience in managing budgets for as I was work as an general secretary and assistant sports secretary at the GE Society, such which are basically for creating policy, creating budget for upcoming programs and other stuff. So I have this experience, and I have experience budgeting on for TVC commercial purpose or documentary making. Though I don't have really any budget idea about what are in other sector, but I'm confident that I can manage that.
Okay. Can you have you so you have already said you have built something on your own. Can you share your experience about the education system that you have had? Like, how was your personal experience of your education, of the education system that you have had?
First of all, I was interested to study CSE at Buet. My goal was set to that I will study from CSE at Buet, but when unluckily I missed a percentage in physics, I cannot sit for that exam. That I cannot pursue what I was want to get in my life. So I thought that was that a single markings on a specific subject cannot determine that what I would be in my future. I was thinking that I can do other things. So then I can try to do other things. Before that, if there was opportunity with that, I will try to manage to study. As there was scope to study at a private university, but there I lost my motivation that for an exam I cannot sit in the entrance exam of BUET or other universities. That was really frustrating for me.
So, but you wanted to, so does it mean you regretted what you studied later, or you
No,
were happy? You were
regret
happy.
what I studied later. Was first few months I was I was demotivated.
Disappointed.
Try to understand what I am studying right now, why I am studying this. But eventually, as the time goes, I discover new things on the field of environment and related to culture and people. I found interest in the subject and try to cope up with it.
Okay. So why did you want to study CSE? Is it because everyone else around around you were like always saying, no, this is what I want to study?
Sorry, the connection was interrupted. Could you
Yeah,
can
your voice was breaking.
No, I'm saying, why did you wanted to study in Buet? Is it because was your dream, or you always heard from everyone that, hey, Buet is the best place, I must go there? Which was the reason?
the reason was it was my dream that studied with from CCI. I have had interest on programming and robotics. I used to see my elder brother doing these things, and when we watch someone to do some things in our childhood, I unconsciously there was interest getting inside us. So then I was like, I should do these things too.
Okay. So it's more like a kind of a peer pressure.
Not like peer pressure. There was no family pressure to me to I need to study in BUET or I need to study by taking subject of CSA. There was no family pressure, but it was I wanted to do as I was like
Right. Not
encouraged.
surprised. No, no worries. Okay. So now let me ask you some critical questions in terms of operations, right? So since you have kind of some experience of working with the community, so it's sometimes it's not that easy. Like, in terms of using internet or any kind of application, it's much easier explaining to someone of your age or someone younger than you or someone of my age. But then when you're going to the community, if you have to explain how useful the internet is, or how will you explain to them what the internet is?
Uh, I can basically, if I want to do this, I can show them a visual how easy is used to internet, or how easy to access internet. How can we use it for our words, and obviously who have a lack of knowledge, who are not interested in taking this in their these measures to search new things to learn. I need to talk to them to make them understand how that this is not a tough job. This is really a really easy job. If I can help them in
But
their
you know, like when you go to the community, there are always those khalas, right? They're just standing there and they're gonna be like, "Oh, you are telling me that you're asking my son and my daughter to go to the Nook. Internet is really bad. I don't want to allow my kids to go. Facebook is turning, all these dirty things. Facebook is a dirty platform." And things like that. What will you tell this person, or what will be your action if someone tells you this?
Though there was a negative effect of internet too, but we need to realize that if we try to make a positive impact with the internet, we can do that easily. If we can show them that there are a lot of good works happening around the world with using internet, they can be encouraged to do send their children in the Nook.
And still, if she goes on like, "No, I don't want to send, I don't want to be a part of this," what will you do?
I would request her also to come into Nook and to see the environment, and to how was the learning process, what they are getting from the Nook. If she came there and find a positive thing, what they are not expecting, as they are thinking that all our negative vibes are there about internet. If they came to Nook and see with their own eyes that that is not that is not bad, that is for positive purpose, that is for good purpose, they will be I think they will be saying their
You will try to convince them. Okay, no worry. Next question. As we know, there is free internet, there is free laptop, and there is free hormones for people when they're growing up. So there can be a situation where, like you go out because you have to take care of the place. So you walk out of the Nook for a while, and you come back in, and you see some of the Nook learners are actually using the internet to access some adult contents. What will you do?
I need to make them understand that that is not good for themselves. That's not offering any positive things to them. I make sure I will make sure that they understand what is bad for them, what is good for them. There is nothing to scolding them that why you are doing this, what this is prohibited. But I need to make them understand that this is not good for them. I need to convince them and make them realize what they are doing. That is not good, and when they realize that that is not good for them, they obviously they should leave that and came up with new good things.
Okay. So can you tell me what you said that one of your favorite, one of your idol is Wong Kar-wai in The Mood for Love, and a lot of films that he has made, which is very well known among the movie buffs, I would say. So what is your big dream, one big dream that you see that you want to achieve?
uh,
Is it something
I
like you want to be like Wong Kar-wai?
No, this is not my basic dream. I mean, basically, I dream for to see the world as I want to see, to show the world as I want to show, and speak how I want to speak. But because that's not mandatory to follow anyone. Every filmmaker has individual priority and individual passion, individual thinkings, their thoughts. I want to share my thoughts with the people through the filmmaking. That that doesn't need to be like following Wong Kar-wai or Satyajit Roy or other directors. I just want to tell my story in my style.
Okay. So my last question would be, what do you understand from the word equality? What do you understand with that word? And also, do you think we are living in an equal world right now?
Equality, that everyone get the same amount of privilege or same amount of support from the society, but we are not getting the equal support from the, as the marginal people or peripheral people don't get what the urban people get. What facilities are available to the urban society that are not available to the marginal community or peripheral community. Even and more to say, if sorry,
Sure.
is like this. I believe in equality is not equity is more important. Equitability is more important than equality, because who needs more care, they should be get this. Because in urban community, we some of things are accessible easily, which are not accessible in marginal community and other things. So they need more care, they need more support to grow up and to facing the challenge. So we should help them what they need with that.
Okay. I think that's all from us, like in terms of asking you questions. Thank you so much, but you can also ask us some questions if you have any questions for us.
Yeah, I think before that, also I just want to ask one more question. So which is related to the fellowship program. So as you know, this is a 18 months program, right? So given that now you live in Dhaka and probably for a long time, would you have any concerns or would you expect any challenges for moving to Barishal City? Would you be willing to relocate to Barishal City for the duration of the fellowship program? And also looking at your current work, you're currently employed, would there be any advance notice we would have to be aware of in terms of do you have any sort of timeline that you need 1 to 3 months advance notice for changing jobs?
Yes, I have. I need some more time, like 3 to 4 weeks to switch the job, because I need to make sure that what is currently I am doing, I really like to keep that in positive side for my current workstation, because I don't want to hamper their work. So I need 3 to 4 weeks time period.
Right. And in terms of moving to Barishal City, like, would you have any concerns? Would you expect any challenges for yourself?
I don't think so, as I move from one place to another place for various purposes. Like in our shooting purpose, we need to go various location and make them manageable for doing the shooting on other stuff regarding the TVC or other things. So I think that will be manageable.
Okay, thanks. Answer Faiz, do you have any questions before we finish?
No, it's okay.
Okay. Answer, any questions? In the meantime, also you can think, maybe do you have any questions that you want to ask us? Do you have any questions for us?
Yes, I have a
Yeah,
few
go ahead.
questions. When what is the opportunity to working more with the local community in the Nuuk, other than just an 18-month period of time? After that, how can I being connected with them?
Right. So basically, this is of course a limited fellowship for 18 months, but I think you will build a network in the local community, right? Because one of your tasks will also be that within those 18 months, you find someone from the local community who will basically take over your role, right? So that it's fully done by the local community. So you will work really closely with the local community, and also during those 18 months you have to chance yourself to work on different projects in the community, right? So while you are running the Nuuk space and managing the Nuuk space, you'll also get the opportunity to yourself get involved in some of the projects happening or initiating some of the projects. So you will have plenty of opportunity to sort of figure out what you want to do. And basically, since you will also learn a lot more about self-designed learning, how to do it, and also the ideas also that through that fellowship, you get the skills that you can start something on your own, right? Which could be you want to start another kind of place in the community, or another initiative, be it in Barishal or elsewhere. But so this 18 months also give you the opportunity to figure out what do you want to do afterwards, and acquire those skills. So I think you will have opportunities to figure out how you can work with this or other local communities.
Okay, I have another question is that there is any time limit for the work, or it is open for all the time, and people came to learn whenever it is possible for them?
So there is, of course, in the sense of, you mean how long the Nuuk is open and all?
Yes.
Is that what? Yeah. Okay. So usually it will be open 6 days a week. For like you would have to be there for sure 5 days a week, and the 6th probably initially, and then we also try to involve some people from the community who can assist you in running the space. So later on, maybe you don't have to be there fully 6 days, but 5 days for sure. And so there will be specific opening timings, I think 8-9 hours a day, but we are a bit flexible in terms of when those opening times will be, because that again depends a bit on when community members actually have time to come, right? So we try to figure out, okay, what would be the best timing. So it might be that the Nuuk is not from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., but let's say from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. or something like this, right? So we'll try to figure out to be a bit more accommodative to the needs of the community. But
yeah, basically there is it's not like all the hours, so there is a specific time. So that's basically what Christoph is trying to say. So that's the answer. So you have a specific time, and then there is a specific time which is decided by the community. So those are all the things that we will inform you later down the line. No worries. So for our next round, if you do get selected, we will be letting you know, like to participate in the next round, which will be a practical round, where you will have to probably show some practical skills, hands-on skills, nothing too fancy. Don't worry. Apart from that, I think that's about it, and you will receive an email if you're selected to the next round. So thank you so much, Mehdi.
Thanks a lot for joining for this interview.
Yeah. Okay. So goodbye from our team, Mehdi, and thank you so much for your time.
And thank you.
You.
Yeah, finally done.
Yeah, I think he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And I think he's like he had some pretty good answers.
You can stop the video also.
He has pretty good skills as well. So Only thing is, he's absolutely not from like.
Can you
Yeah.
stop the recording? Stop the recording.
Oh, sorry.